Press that button. And here we are. Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I'm the James Lott Jr. of A Lot of Help. Welcome to JLJ Media. We're happy to have you tonight. We're going to have a nice little talk about the world at large. Things are changing. We're coming back to some semblance of normal. So we're going to talk about that actually and what that actually means. I'm going to set up the chat room. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. So I'm setting it up right now. Okay, so if you guys want to, I spelled hello wrong. Let's see. I swear I have a degree. I swear I do. I'm a smart guy. I really am. Okay, so I'm setting that up. Now in this age of everything, do everything ourselves. Here we go. Okay, perfect. But of course, yeah, I'm James Lott Jr. Of course, my company is JLJ Media and the Super Organized. I have two companies that are doing okay. But my guest, he's been on the show before. He's been on other shows with me. We've done things together. He, of course, is an executive coach. He's a best-selling author. I have his book. He's a gold medal athlete. He's a businessman. He's a speaker, and he's my friend, Wasim Hajjiri. How you doing, Wasim?
Thank you so much for that kind intro, James. It's so great to be back here. It's always a pleasure to see you. I love your energy. Your show is amazing. I actually missed the studio, but this is perfect. We'll do maybe a studio when everything is back on track. But thank you so much for having me, and I'm very excited to talk about a lot of fun things today.
So ironically, my shows that you were on got nominated for awards last night. I'm nominated.
Wow, congrats. And then Jimmy Kimmel, being on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Yes. Just tell me a little bit about that, because this is obviously, you blew up all over social media. And when I saw that, I was so proud of you. This is such a historic moment, to be part of that show. And you were in the audience, and you told me they treated you so kindly. That's so awesome. Just tell me a little bit about how was that experience?
Yeah, it's and hi, Lounge Tony. It's my friend Wasim. My friend Tony Moore is in the chat room. Say hello. Hello, Kirsten. Hello, guys. Thanks for being in the chat room. So yeah, you knew me when I was kind of starting out. You came on my show with your book. Your book came out. We became friends. We hit it off right away. During the pandemic, of course, which we're going to talk about that a little bit on this show today. I had to find opportunities. I mean, I had to figure out because everything in LA shut down. In Los Angeles, everything shut down. So I had to find opportunities. But, also, I tell people all the time, when you're nice to people, they remember you. And so you never know who is in position to help you later. You just don't know. It could be that person who's giving you a coffee at a Starbucks. It could be a person who's parking your car. You never know where they change and suddenly they're in positions to further your career. You never know who it is. So it's nice to be nice to everybody. Just be nice to everybody, right? The general rule. Well, a person remembered me from years ago, and she's a producer at the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Wow.
So when it came to, we want to make this historic occasion. So folks, if you haven't seen it already, I thought everybody's seen it at this point, but if you haven't seen it, I was in the May 12th edition of the Jimmy Kimmel Live Show. I made history in television as the first fully vaccinated, first guest that's not from the staff in the audience.
Wow.
After 14 months. So I was the only person in the audience. They had a camera on me, microphone on me, and Jimmy talked to me the whole day, the whole night of the show.
Wow.
I made history. But she remembered me and said, what about James Lott Jr.? He's so nice. He's so funny. He's a hard worker. He's all this stuff. He'd be good. And that's what happened. They gave me a phone call, and I said, and you know me, I said, yes, sure, I'll do it. Sure.
Let's do it. Yeah, pronto, right away.
And I had no idea what was going to happen. They said, you can promote one of your businesses. And I said, to organize, I'll promote my organizing business, because that was starting to come back to life again. And it changed my life. My website crashed, which was a good thing. I got it fixed. They crashed. Wow. My YouTube channel went bizarre. It just went bomb. I was like, who's the James Lott Jr. guy? I got jobs out of it and everything. So it all worked out for me. And so I'm still seeing the effects of it. And I'm not done yet. I tell people out there, I'm not done yet. I can't say anything to you guys, but just stay tuned.
Oh, so there's behind the scenes.
Yes, I'm part of the Jimmy Kimmel family, they told me. So that's all I can say to you guys. But yeah, it did change my life, but it helped my business too. So when it's about business, tying it back to that, it's saying yes to stuff sometimes, out of the box things that you never know. Being nice to people.
I love that. Like, just be kind, right? And then, Maya Angelou, she said, people will will never remember what you said to them or what you said yesterday, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. Always remember that. And I think you said that perfectly. Like, wow, yeah, always be kind. You never know who you're meeting. And I have a lot of stories behind, like how meeting random people as well. So congratulations, hats off to you. I mean, you deserve it. You've been, you work very hard, and me and you shared a lot of stories. I know your journey. It's been a tough journey. And you deserve it, all of these years that you put into yourself and into your business. And, you have a beautiful personality, vibrant. You're putting out a lot of content every week, on and on, meeting all of these celebrities, yes. all of these people. I mean, you're making an impact on the entire world, and that's very admirable. So hats off to you. And again, congratulations. I'm so, so proud of you and excited for, it's going to, just like you said, it's going to keep opening up more and more opportunities. And it's awesome.
Well, thank you for the kind words. You all, like I said, you were always nice to me. You were always, we hit it off. You were always nice. We kept in touch. And and the times over the years, I'd say, come on my show. You've come on happily, and we've talked. And so I think that, that's what it is. We got to lift each other up, and and we're brothers of sorts. So, we got to
always
keep it moving, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I want to talk about. So we're talking about, you saw in the title, folks, talking about the economic rebound. So things are starting to come back to life again. If you live in Los Angeles, the traffic is back. Yeah. Wasim, hello. It's like they could never happen. Like there was never a pandemic.
Yeah.
The 405, the 110, the 10. I'm like, oh my God, they're all back there, back to normal.
Which means people are back going to work.
Exactly. That's why you're laughing. It's true. That's why you're laughing. I know you don't live in LA, but you know it's true how crazy it is out here.
I'm down here in San Diego, and it's really busy. Back to normal. Traffic everywhere, coffee shops, restaurants, everything is open. But it feels good, doesn't it? It's back, everyone has, thankfully, I got my vaccine, my mom did, my family, my friends, people are feeling safe, the no mask thing is a blessing. Honestly, you can go to the gym without the mask. Woo!
Yeah,
that
I know,
is
right?
beautiful.
Right? Yes, it is. And that's what I would say, because, okay, so folks, he has an MBA, he's an executive coach, so he knows what he's talking about, he runs, but he knows what he's talking about. And so I want to say, before we even get into all of that, just for you, I know already off camera, but for folks out there at home, how did you during the pandemic? How did you do?
Honestly, the beginning was definitely rough, just like me and you talked about earlier. But then after things settled down and I started to focus on, okay, we have all of the situation going on, started to focus on solutions, right? How can I get more clients back? How can I get more contracts? And then, as the pandemic started, because what I do is executive career coaching, and I help, now I'm expanding, mostly I help technology professionals, people, mid, senior, now I'm working with even junior level people, and then expanding into different industries. But as you know, like many people lost their jobs and people were panicking and freaking out. But at the same time, a lot of jobs were opening up. Amazon came full force, started with 200, 300,000 jobs. Now they're up to 400,000 jobs. That's Amazon alone. And people started to figure out new ways to deal with the pandemic, and the whole online world boomed. And then, virtual jobs, a lot of remote jobs that increased by 40% within 1 year. So I started to look for those specific jobs and how can I help people get the new opportunities. It's definitely hard for everyone to change because they're comfortable. Maybe they were used to something, but a lot of opportunities came about during the pandemic. And honestly, in our business, the career coaching, the year of COVID was the best year, believe it or not. And we served a lot of people, more than almost double than 2019, which is, I know, sounds crazy.
Right,
So
all right.
It was a good year, rough start, but we pushed through it. And as you know, with the challenges, and yeah, that's what I'm about to talk about today. Like, what's going on now? How can you find a job or a new job opportunity in this new rising economy, which is on fire right now? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happened in several of my careers that I have, we had to be creative. We had to be really creative in how to go for money, how to go for clientele, how to do this. you know, I wish I had stock in Zoom before this happened, because I'm like, Zoom became everybody's savior, right? Became Zoom, Microsoft Teams, you know, all these different things became our, for the entertainment industry, became our thing. We had to figure it out. And that was the same with me. It's hard for some people. You and our entrepreneurial spirit, we have that spirit, so we know we have to pivot and change. But for some people, it is hard. They had that one job, or they had one field for so long, and then it went away. They're like, what do I do now? Like, what? I mean, I don't know what to do. And it's like, you have to kind of think like an entrepreneur a little bit, even if you're not an entrepreneur. But you got to think of like, what else can I do? What, you know, virtual jobs. Oh my God, organizers. Virtual organizing became a huge thing last year. So you're absolutely correct about that. Or we couldn't go to people's homes for a while. That was too dangerous. Yeah. So we had to figure out, how can we do this? Well, everybody has a tablet, everybody has a phone, FaceTime, Skype. I mean, we had to figure that shit out, didn't we? We had to figure it out. So I, like you said that. So Wasim is, I agree with them. I know a lot of fields went up in stuff because people figured it out after the initial shock. And I think, and also Wasim, just kind of, you're saying you understand how hard it is for people when it first went down.
Yes.
And so you're saying like, now it's time. You can pick yourself up, right? That's what you're saying.
100%. I mean, I would like to really, for everyone watching right now, or whoever will watch this, just analyze a little bit or do some self-reflection. Am I happy where I'm at right now? You might have, you went through the COVID. You might be even looking for a job right now. But think of it as a new start, as a fresh start. This is your time. You can move on to another company. And my heart is with the people who let go. I know hundreds of thousands of people got let go from their jobs. And those are the people that I looked for the most and helped out the most, because it's tough. You know, our job is literally our life. You know, we spend 40 to 60 hours a week, and, you know, it's like your second life. So this is an opportunity for a fresh start. There is a lot of ways that you can find the job if you follow a structure. Step 1, 2, 3. Me and you will dig through it today.
Perfect. And
that's what, you know, I want to share with everyone on how to get that new opportunity.
Before we get to the steps, what are 2 things you think people need to have to get ready for those steps before they start?
Number 1, self-reflection. I would really encourage everyone to sit down and ask yourself, like, what do I truly enjoy doing in my career? Okay, so you don't have to shift careers, but in your career, if you have, let's say as an example, 5 years of experience in engineering, what is the most, you know, the juice that you get the most juice from in doing your type of work? Which department do you like? What kind of company culture do you see yourself being in? Because now it's an opportunity to go into something new, maybe a new company, a new culture. So even take a step back and see, where do you see yourself where, and as an example, Zappos right now is one of the best companies to work for because of their culture. So number 1, I would say, look and start to think of a culture that you see yourself fitting in. If you were in a miserable culture before, you know how that is, because I also speak to people. Culture is everything. You have to be happy in the work environment. So that's number 1. Number 2, the pay. Like, ask yourself, have I been getting paid what I truly feel that I'm worth, or have I been underpaid? Some people might have been paid well, some people have not. So this is your opportunity. Number 2 is to get a better pay. And finally, number 3, think more long-term. Really think long term. So for the next 5, 10 years, where do you see yourself? And this company you're going in, will it help you grow towards your long-term goals? Not just short-term, because, you know, a lot of companies, maybe they're startups, they don't have enough budgeting. But if your long-term goal is to maybe get an MBA, you find a bigger company that will have, you know, higher education options and will allow you to, you know, reach your goals even long-term. So that would be the 3 things that I would, you know, love people.
I like that. It's so self-reflection, and what's the other? What are the 2 again?
Number 1, self-reflection. Like, am I happy? What's going on in my life? Number 2, company culture.
Culture.
What is the type of culture that I would like to be in. Number three, pay. Okay, so how much money am I getting? But culture is way more important. Or even number one, are you actually happy? I'm actually, writing the second book that I'm working on. It's called Fulfilled, ? How to land a job that aligns with your purpose. Fulfillment is huge. So you have to be happy in the culture and the work that you're doing. And number four, finally, long term. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? And where you're heading to, that company, is it aligned with your long-term goals?
I like that. Okay. I'll put this in the description. Okay, so like that. So that's good. So I always believe that you have to get ready before you do changes. Before you start looking, you have to prepare, like almost like an athlete. You got to prepare. You got to do your stretches. You can't just run a marathon. You got to do your stretches. You got to do a little practice your pacing. I've done some marathons. My medals are hanging up back there. I've done three of them.
Wow.
I know. In my 40s, Wasim, I did 3 of them in my 40s.
That's amazing. Yeah, you look amazing. Look at you. I mean, your energy is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, but I believe you have to prepare yourself first before you even do anything. That's in everything in life. So I like that. Great answers. Okay, so now you've done all those things. I suggest people, you could put it in your phone. There's a notes app in your phone, or write it down on a piece of paper, or get a napkin, whatever.
Exactly.
Make sure you get that going. Now we're going to start with the steps. Because he said there's jobs out there, folks. So let's step one.
Step one, LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn now. Yes.
80% of companies right now use LinkedIn to find job candidates. So everyone who's listening, 80%, and even some people that I talk to, I'm talking about senior executives, don't even have a LinkedIn profile. So it's okay if you don't have a LinkedIn profile. So step one, leave everything you're doing, go on linkedin.com and create a profile. It takes 5 minutes because you literally upload your resume, a picture, a bio, and you're good to go. So that would be the first step.
I'm finally using LinkedIn, I think, correctly, because even when I post on there, my posts are getting lots of attention. Like I was posting, on Instagram, Twitter, we do that still, but post on LinkedIn too. I mean, you just never, folks are looking. Wasim is correct. They are looking.
James, do you know how Forbes, they found me? They found me on LinkedIn.
Oh.
I'm part of the Forbes Career Coaches Council. I publish articles with them. And I swear to you, around a couple of years ago, one of the executives, that's where they found me. So that's the power of LinkedIn. You can find anyone there. If you search for the VP of Google, he's on LinkedIn. Mark Zuckerberg is on LinkedIn. Everyone, all of the executives, people that, inspire you, whoever it is, everyone is right there. And you can literally, send them a message with an initial note and you connect with them on the spot. Obviously, there's a strategy to do that. Yeah. But number one, LinkedIn. Okay.
You said, I'm like, folks, I'm just telling you, I've gotten jobs off of LinkedIn, like some gigs. I've gotten interviews off of LinkedIn. I mean, he's right. Okay.
Number two. Okay. So something called the ATS, the Applicant Tracking System. So nowadays, especially during when COVID hit, there's thousands of people applying. Let's say hundreds, okay? Hundreds of people applying to the same position. So recruiters or hiring managers don't have the time to go through all of the resumes. So they use this special software. It's universal. It's called the ATS, Applicant Tracking System. In simple terms, it's a software that literally 85% of companies now use to find candidates. Okay, so that's the most important thing. You can Google it, do research on it. It's extremely important. The ATS, I'm gonna keep referencing it, okay? So now, your goal is after you have your LinkedIn profile and you have your resume, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly now what to do to fix it.
Okay.
To pass through the software, there's this incredible website that I've been using and it's free. It's called jobscan.co. jobscan.co. You go on this website, you upload your resume, and you copy and paste the job description. Literally, it's one step. You hit enter, and then, and it gives you what do you need to do in order to pass the ATS. It's as simple as that, James. So that is the first step, okay? On average, a resume writer will charge you between $1,000 to $2,000 to do the ATS stuff for you. Okay, so you can get a start by going on jobscan.co. You have your resume and the job you're applying to. You literally copy, paste it, upload the resume, and now you're gonna understand what the ATS is looking for specifically. Because every job you're applying to, they're looking for specific keywords on your resume and LinkedIn profile that will, get you the initial interview. So, okay, so any questions there? Tell me. I can break it
down. So far it seems very self-explanatory, folks. I want them, if they want more questions, come hire you.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a good intro. It's a good intro, folks. If you want more information, you hire Wasim. That's how I do that, Wasim. That's how I get the business back to you. He can
boom.
Exactly. But for the sake of this, it is really simple. You're saying just go to this website, pop in your resume, and they literally will show you what needs to be said for the job.
Exactly. On the dot. On the dot. And then there's even a LinkedIn optimization tool that will also do your LinkedIn profile as well. So that website will take care of it. That's the first step. Obviously, LinkedIn, ATS. Now, step 2 is networking. So the ATS alone, that software, is not enough. And you know the corny saying, it's all about who you know. It's definitely about you need someone from within the company to give you a hand, to give you a boost, right? You pass through the ATS, great, but how will you actually get better traction with interviews? It's through networking. And we're gonna take it back to LinkedIn. Very, very simple example, okay? So you're applying to a project manager position at Google.
Okay.
You go on, at Google, the company, you go on LinkedIn, up top on the search bar, you search for Google recruiters. Number 1, number 2, Google hiring managers. It's as simple as that. Now you get a list of all of these people and you look for the ones hiring for project managers. You send them a message. Hey, James, I applied to this project manager position at Google. I want to connect to see what more potential opportunities you have for me and to discuss this position. Boom. So LinkedIn is your special weapon in networking. You can literally start building these connections for each of the jobs you're applying to. It's as simple as that. One search with an initial note, something relevant, just like I mentioned. Hey, James, I applied to this job. I'm connecting with you to discuss this opportunity and whatever else, anything else that you have.
Well, see, for me, what you're saying to me is exactly what I do in Hollywood. It's like when I'm on social media, I follow the casting agents, the casting directors, the PR people, the producers. You follow them. You say, yes. Hello, how you doing? Networking, you and I both can network, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Exactly. We met through networking.
We met through networking. So my thing is, for folks who are a little nervous, this is an easy way to do this. What he's telling you is really easy. It's kind of like you're doing it from your computer, you're doing it from home. You just kind of reach out a little bit. And they're looking the thing is, they want people. They want to find that next person. They want to find a person, right? They want to.
Exactly. And to piggyback on what you said, the nervousness, everyone goes through this. They tell me, Wasim, I'm a little bit, hesitant to connect with this person. Like they don't know me and I feel like I'm intruding. Let me break it down very simply. A recruiter's job is to get you a job, and that's how they get paid. That's how they get their commission. That's how they feed their family. So you are doing them a favor by you reaching out to them. And you are gonna stand out between everyone else who's simply just applying online, a random name, a random resume thrown with the hundreds of others. So when you do that one step of connecting with them on LinkedIn, it shows, number 1, you are ready, you are putting an effort, and number 2, you are doing them a favor. So let's switch that mindset into you're not burdening anyone. I promise you guys, you're actually doing them a favor. It's the same with hiring managers, because hiring managers and recruiters, they work 24/7 to look for people like you, and you do them a favor by reaching out to them.
Right, you're helping them because again, they're busy. They're busy. They're getting paid to find people. I mean, that's what they're getting paid to find people. So they want to find you, but you have to stand out. And I agree, networking and stuff, that's one way to. So first he's telling you how to get the resume to stand out, but also how to you to stand out also, because it still goes back to people, right? It kind of goes back to people.
It's always people, always people. Second aspect to networking is your personal network. I tell everyone, James, where's my phone? Here's my phone.
Yeah.
Literally, open your phone and start to scroll through your phone contacts. Who can help me land the job?
Yeah.
You at least have 200 contacts there. I bet you $100 that at least 5 to 10 people will give you, connect you with someone, give you some ideas. So your personal network starts with your phone contacts. You know, you have LinkedIn, your personal network, you can go through your contacts right away. So remember that, okay? So personal network and then professional network.
Yeah. I mean, no, because you go, oh, cousin so-and-so is like, well, I know somebody who does, you just never know. And, the thing is, you have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And people want to help, James. I promise you. If you reach out, put your pride and ego on the side, people love people love to help. How many times I've heard it when some of my clients are working with recruiters or some hiring manager or even someone within their network, they actually thank them, like, thanks for reaching out and thinking of me as a leader or someone that can help you. And I would love to help you. People want to help. I promise you that, everyone.
Yeah, I did a show today where I was the guest earlier today.
Nice.
Kind of weird. That happens to me. And so she connected me with somebody in my field. She was like, I know somebody who does what you need. And afterwards, she connected us. So it's like, again, she wanted to help. I didn't ask her. I just got out. She's like, do you have this person who does cleaning? I don't have anybody who does cleaning. I know somebody who does. And he has his own cleaning products. So she supported him, supported me, and brought us together.
Wow. And just like you said with the Jimmy Kimmel show, right? One time you met one of the producers. Where was it? At a Starbucks or somewhere random?
Well, it's it could be.
Anywhere, right? Anywhere. Maybe you were at a Starbucks and you said hi to someone getting coffee. Boom. He's a producer, or maybe he or she know a producer. You were simply kind and genuine to them, telling them about your business, and they're like, oh, James, I would love to connect you with one of the producers at Jimmy Kimmel. Boom. Done. It's as easy as that. It's very, very powerful.
I know. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful. So what's another thing that people do?
Okay, so we talked about the second step, which is networking. Now, have a set goal every day on X amount people to connect with. Okay, so let's put this into tangible daily goals.
Okay.
So I recommend to everyone to, number one, let's go back to the jobs, apply to at least 5 jobs per day. And number two, connect with at least 5 people per day, which in total will take you 30 minutes. That's it, James.
Okay.
30 minutes. Okay? That's the bare minimum. Okay. So you're applying to 5 jobs and you're connecting to 5 people per day on LinkedIn. Now, 5 times 5, that's 25 people per week. Over the weeks, it keeps adding up. And if you get the momentum, boom, 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 it keeps building and building and building. But you got to start small. Start with 5 people to connect with per day, just like we talked about, targeted to the companies you're interested in, and apply to 5 jobs using the resume and the LinkedIn profile, the job scan that we talked about, so that you can nail the keywords.
So I like that. That's good too. It adds up, folks. I always say small steps lead to large rewards, because you may go 5 people, that's it. No, it's not. That's not it. Like I said, 25 a week, 100 a month.
100 a month, you see? And it's how much? 30 minutes a day.
I know.
Put it on your calendar, okay? To make it stick, put it on your calendar. At 12 to 12:30, apply to jobs or connect to people on your Google Calendar.
It's literally, I have taken longer baths. I have, come on. I've been outside. I slept. I've taken naps for 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Half-hour comedy on TV.
That's another thing. You know this. On average, every person spends 6 hours a day on social media.
I know, right? right.
6 hours on your phone.
I'm guilty, Wasim. I'm guilty.
I'm guilty too. I'm guilty too. Trust me, it's so addicting. Scrolling through Instagram, Facebook,
Yes.
Twitter, and now they have what's it called? That TikTok. These videos are fun. So 6 hours a day, okay? Just keep that in mind that you spend on your phone. Give yourself 30 minutes on LinkedIn and go connect with people and apply to jobs.
Yeah, no, that's what I would say. Folks, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Because folks will say things like, well, I don't have any time, or I'll take too long. He's telling you it doesn't take that long.
30 minutes. But consistency is the key, right? 30 minutes, Monday to Friday. Don't even do weekends.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, 5 days. Done. Okay.
That's what most of the world actually is business, anyways. I know some businesses are weekends, some are nights, but for the most part, it's
exactly for the most part, and then if you want to do better, do 7 days a week. On Saturday and Sunday, you're chilling, right? You're on your phone. LinkedIn is, the app is very powerful.
Yeah, it's my phone.
On your phone. Yeah. You don't need to move. You don't need to see anyone. You can be on the beach. You can be whatever you are, then you can knock it out. So that's step 2, which brings us, do you have any questions about the 2 steps, or should I move to the final one?
So far, this is good. This is good. This is very easy to remember. So this is good. So that's the next. Perfect.
So the last one is interview prep, right?
Oh, okay. That's very important. Nice to teach people how to interview.
That is the most important. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to dig very deep.
Nice to teach that. I know how hard. Yeah, it's a long one.
And, please, just any questions you have, ask me and I'll dig deeper. Okay. So just a quick recap. We have our LinkedIn profile. We went to jobscan.co. We fixed the resume and the LinkedIn, fixed the ATS stuff. Number 2, we're networking. We're building these relationships on LinkedIn with people at the companies that we're interested in, like Google we mentioned. And now finally, number 3, interview prep. So let's say, James, you have an interview tomorrow. What do you do? Exactly. So first of all, you're going to get nervous. Every human being in the world gets nervous. It's totally okay. People start to freak out. Oh my God, why am I nervous? Maybe start to get anxious. Totally fine, guys. Oprah Winfrey has been performing for over 30 years. They asked her in an interview, Oprah, do you get nervous this day before going on stage? She says, yes. After doing it thousands of times, I still get nervous. And then the second I go there, my heart is pumping like crazy. And then when I sit down and start talking, I start to relax and I'm in my element. So it's normal. Everyone goes through it. So keep that in mind. Okay?
And I just want to jump in really quick. And also, because this is pandemic related, we know that many of you may feel rusty because it's been a year or so since you've actually been on an interview, or some of you have been on an interview in 20 years because you had that job. My friend just lost her job after 21 years. And so she's like, James, I haven't interviewed in 21 years. I mean, that's why I got that job. I'm like, I remember for myself, when I quit my corporate job and decided to start my own business, I was like, I've interviewed in jobs in 20, 25 years. Like I always, it's like crazy. And so I just want to say that for folks, same thing. If you're nervous about that, it's okay too. It's okay.
And then now we're going to break it down on how to deal with the nerves because they're going to be there no matter what. And even during the interview, I'm going to exactly take you guys through that process. Okay. So now, just like you said, you might be rusty, right? You did an interview for 5 years, 10 years. You might be an interviewing machine. It doesn't matter. So a couple of days before the interview, sit down and ask yourself, what are the negative stories in my mind about interviews? Like, what am I thinking about? Is it, maybe I'm too old, they're not going to like me. Maybe I'm too young, they're not going to like me. You know what? I think I'm rusty, or I don't feel confident enough. So the most important thing, this is like the mental aspect is huge, to sit down and ask yourself, what are the negative stories in my mind about this interview? It's a little bit of self-reflection. You take 5 and 10 minutes, sit down, empty sheet of paper. What are these stories? Now, the hardest part is to write them on paper. And then now it's pretty much when you're aware of these stories, you can deal with them. Because when you write them down, let's say I'm too old, I'm underqualified, I'm too old, or let's say I'm too old. That's one of your main stories. when the interview comes, you're going to wake up in the morning and look at, oh, I'm too old. This is nonsense. This is just my story. What's the opposite of that? You know what? I have 20 years of life experience. So take 1 minute and read it. I'm like, you know what? This is my old story. My new story is that I have 20 years of experience. I'm going to go and rock it. I'm going to be a valuable asset to this company. So you want to hype yourself up. That's the most important thing, because no one is going to hype you in there, right? You have to do it yourself.
I love that, because I'm all about taking your bad habits or bad thoughts, make them work for you. That's what I always say in my practice. Make it work for you.
Exactly.
So you drop your shoes off at the door. Get on my nerves. I trip over them, whatever. Put a little bin right there. You can drop the shoes off at the door at the bin. Now they're not in the way anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's your bad habit. You're turning it, flipping it. This is the same thing. It's like saying to myself, for me, the old thing speaks to me because I'm older. Always go. So I go, wait a minute. I'm not too old. I have so much experience in all these fields. They should hire me. I'm so mature. I'm mature. So they should. I know how to handle myself. They should hire me. I just have years of experience. They should hire me. Like, you're right. You have to kind of turn that around and go, it's not a bad thing that I'm this age. But you're right. People look at, I have 2 kids. I can't work, or I have this. Their story becomes so heavy.
And you believe it. The story you keep telling yourself over and over, you believe it. But think about it. No one else knows about this story. It's only you.
Right.
And it's okay to have it. Every person in the world has a story.
Right.
I have it. And why do we have stories? It's simple. We want to shield ourselves from pain, right? If I fail, I'm going to stick to that story of I don't have enough experience. I didn't do good because I don't have enough experience. It's just shielding us from pain, and that's okay. Everyone has a story. So the most important thing is to figure out what it is, and only the person knows, and to flip it, write the opposite. And in the morning of the interview, we're going to talk about what to do exactly, and you're going to read the new story and put it in your mind over and over. And I'm going to tell you guys how to do that. Okay, so self-reflection, get rid of the old story. Now, the day of the interview, okay, or I would say, let's take it a step back. Now, homework, right? You want to do your homework and study on the company.
Oh, yes.
The most important thing is the job description. The job description is your lethal weapon. It is your secret weapon. It is the company's love language. You know the 5 love languages? The company's love language is the job description. So you're going to print it out and you're going to use it as your cheat sheet. Relate all of your experience, all of your life to that job description. So you put the resume here and the job description here, and you relate all of your experience. Because in the end, that company is only going to be listening to the main points in the job description. Can this guy or this lady, can they do this job? And you want to hit on the job description and the points in it over and over. So relate all of your experience to the job description, number 1. Number 2, who are the people that I'm interviewing? Because believe it or not, when you go in, it's just a normal human being, just like you and I, okay, James? And what are you doing? You're building a relationship with them. So flip that mindset into, he's not an interviewer. He's just he or she, they're normal human beings. I'm going to go and build a genuine relationship. So you go on LinkedIn, you look up their profile, and you see, what is this person about that I'm interviewing? And find some commonality points. And you know how powerful that is, right? If you were going to a producer, let's say they're shooting a Tom Cruise movie, and he produces Tom Cruise movies. And you go and all you talk about is how much you love Tom Cruise movies. How much is that guy going to love you? You're going to be speaking magic to his ears because this is what he loves. This is his passion. So the interviewer is the same. He or she, they're just normal human beings. They have hobbies. They might have went to a school that you like. They have similar interests. And again, LinkedIn is your key. They will be on LinkedIn. I would say 90%, because if it's a manager or a director, they're going to be on LinkedIn. So find some commonality points.
One of the things that I do, I try to find things that are maybe obscure. I remember I was in an interview and I saw online they were left-handed. I'm left-handed also. So I said, it's just crazy being left-handed. I sit at my desk. Oh my God, you're left-handed too? Where do you put your mouse? I put it on this, and then we had this huge discussion. It broke him down a little bit to where you see, but also it's showing your personality. It's showing how you relate to people. I mean, it's not just we're not just bullshitting people. It's like
No.
We're actually showing them our culture. We're showing them kind of how we work together, how we can work together, how we could possibly relate, how I could possibly work with someone else. Am I silly? Am I smart? Am I funny? Am I this? Am I hardworking? They can tell from these conversations. So I'm like, I was like somebody, I saw their hometown. I'm like, oh my God, I lived there for 5 years. You lived in Pittsburgh? I lived in Pittsburgh too.
Boom.
Football teams. I'm a Steelers fan, of course. You're a Steelers fan. I'm a Browns fan. That's great. And you playfully fight because they're rivals. Or I'm an Eagles fan or whatever. That's part of it. It's like you find these little. You
break the ice right away, just like you said. Oh, you're from San Diego. Oh, my sister's from San Diego. I love San Diego. I've been there a million times. Boom, boom, boom. Or as an example, let's go back to Google, right? Your project manager position, you look for the person you're interviewing. Let's call him James. James speaks Spanish. Boom, that's a major commonality point. So I would go into the interview, tell him, James, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I looked at your LinkedIn profile and I saw that you spoke Spanish. I love Spanish. Tell me a little bit more. Like, how did you learn Spanish? Where are you from? What countries did you visit that speak Spanish? You can talk about that for at least 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, it's a normal, genuine conversation. You don't have to be professional and with your suit and I can't breathe. Hello, nice to meet you. No, relax and start with the commonality points, because at the beginning of the interview, that will also give you time to relax yourself, because again, you will be nervous. It's okay. Emotions are going to play with you. Again, it's going to happen. So hitting on the commonality points from LinkedIn will make the person feel like he or she is a normal human being, and you will relax, okay?
There's a question, because I think this actually fits for prep. I'm curious what your opinion is.
Yes.
So this is from Geneva. Hi, Geneva.
Hi.
So much of today is online, which some of it still is. In my business, it is. A lot of self-tapes, things for auditions are online. In your opinion, she wants to know, what are some essential equipment needs I should have, like Zoom, microphones, cameras? Are these things necessary for the interviews?
Okay. So I would say definitely Zoom, have a good camera. Nothing too fancy. You don't want to go too crazy. And you can even have a blank background like this wall. It doesn't even matter.
Okay.
But as long as the sound is clear, you don't want an old, noise and stuff. And the camera is clear. I would say that's the most important thing. And you want to sit in somewhere where you feel good in your element. This is so important. Obviously not outside, but in your house. Let's say your living room is somewhere that you feel comfortable. You don't have to be scrunched up in your office. Be in the living room, put a chair, a little desk, and it's more space. I suggest people sit in like right now, where am I? I'm in my living room because it's my element, right? I feel more comfortable. Yeah. So that's the second part, is to be somewhere where you feel more comfortable. And then, pretty much the setup is, okay, is the audio working? Is the video working? Does that answer her questions?
Geneva, let us know. That was your question. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Can you? Yeah.
So far, that was the
Janine, if you have any questions, please throw them over and I'll go through everything. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good question, though. I mean, people need to know how they
exactly. And then, okay, so to just piggyback on that, I would say just 10-15 minutes before the interview, sit down and test things.
Yes. Oh my God.
Test the camera, position
it. We did it, folks. Trust me, we did it. We had to, because he was sitting somewhere else. It didn't work. So
exactly. The lighting was not good. Make sure the lighting is okay. Shut off all of the noise. Put your phone on silent. Be in the place where your element is. You feel comfortable, and then you can rock and roll. That's it. Nothing fancy. Yeah.
She says yes, thank you. Okay. She said yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So go ahead to the next. Go to the next. So we have the prep. We're getting the prep going. The next step.
We talked about relating your experience to the job description. The job description is your cheat sheet. All of your answers, remember to revolve them around the job description, okay? And then that's gonna help a lot. Number 2, Study up on the interviewer, find some commonality points. LinkedIn is your secret weapon. You can most probably find these people on LinkedIn, or just simply do a Google search. Number 3, you want to study the company. Definitely. Okay, you really want to understand what this company is about, what their culture is. Google is your best friend. Literally, Google is your best friend. There's Glassdoor and there's Wikipedia. Those are huge platforms, but you can even on Google. Let's say you're applying, you're going for this company called X. You go on Google, you put company X reviews or company X details. And now you want to understand what the company is about, read up on some reviews. Wikipedia or Glassdoor has a lot of those. What the culture is about, their mission statement. And you don't have to be like, write paragraphs and paragraphs, just simple bullets for you to understand what's going on, what types of services and products that they have, so that when they ask you in the interview, you know. Don't memorize everything. Just remember simple bullet points that you can jot down to understand the company and their services and their products. So that would be the third part of the prep. And then the final one is the most important. Interview questions. Interview questions, right? Google is your best friend in the world.
There you go. Yes.
I'm gonna go back to the project manager example. Okay, your first Google search will be project manager interview questions. You will find tons. Number 2, company X project manager interview questions, and that's it. These 2 variations, right? The title of your job that you're applying to, interview questions. Your title plus the company, interview questions.
Yeah.
You will find so many. It's all free. It's all free. Like questions, even answers. People, leave a lot of reviews also on even the specific details of how to answer it. So go do a Google search, and I would say map out at least 20 questions and answers for that specific job title, and bullet points under each one. You want to relate. Okay, so if it's a project manager, a quick example, the first question is what are your strengths? But what are your strengths as a project manager? Okay, you jot down, you go back to your resume. Okay, 1, 2, 3 again, and then the job description, your resume and the job description, your secret weapons, and you map it out. That will be the final part of the prep.
And that's what it is. I mean, it all actually, all the steps you have they're connect the dots. They all feed each other. So it's like having a good resume set up and a good job description set up will feed you later when it comes to the interview.
Yes.
So it all equals each other. So it's like, it's not anything. It's a through line. It's like
exactly.
It's like anything you do it's organized. So there is a through line. Each step helps each other.
Yes. And just like you said, right, if we take it back, you went through jobscan.co, you have the job description and your resume, and using that software, you combine them. So when you go for that Google interview, it's already combined. You can already speak on the points because it's related. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now, the most important part of the prep. All of this is great. But I'm going to give you right now, James, and for everyone listening, the secret weapon. And if you do that alone, that will tremendously increase your interview performance. Mental and physical prep. The morning of the interview, this is what I suggest to all of my clients. You're going to wake up and you're going to do your daily habits. Number 1, exercise. 10-15 minutes, you can go for a walk, you can do a home exercise, you can do squats, you can go swimming, you can do home yoga, anything to move your body. As soon as you wake up, the day of the interview, 10-15 minutes, exercise. Okay. Now, while you're exercising, guess what you're gonna do, James? You're gonna read the positive story that you wrote down, that you flipped. While you're doing your weights, I'm a great candidate. I have so much experience. Why do you do that? Because while you're exercising, your endorphins are up the roof and your brain is extremely receptive to information. So you want to put that new story of why you're going to rock that interview deep in your mind. Second part, you're going to finish your exercise and you're going to sit down and meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. Nothing fancy. You can simply, for 5 to 10 minutes, sit down, close your eyes, inhale from the nose, exhale from the mouth. And for 5 to 10 minutes, do that and focus on your breathing, or put your hands on your heart and focus on your heartbeats. That is the meditation. There's different apps that you can do. There's YouTube, but if you want to do something as simple as this, you sit down, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and focus on the breath or the heart. It's so powerful, James. Like, you know the power of meditation.
I meditate every morning, so I meditate for an hour every morning. So
exactly.
I do know
1 hour. Yeah, right. Because you know, every human being on average, we have 60,000 thoughts a day.
I got 100,000. I got 100,000 thoughts.
Maybe you got 100,000. Our brains are working nonstop.
Yeah, they are.
So meditation is mental exercise, just like exercise is physical. Meditation is mental. Okay, so you want to calm down and give your brain a little bit of a break, right? So that's the second one is meditation. Number 3, journaling. Here we go. Here's my journal. Literally, this is my journal. Here we go. It's actually full every single.
Okay, it is. Well, okay, good. It's upside down, but yeah, let's go.
It's upside. Oh, here we go.
He's a coach. I swear, he's a coach. I swear he is.
Here we go. Right, every single day. Put the date on the top.
Wow.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Put it on the timer, and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I grateful for? What do I love about myself? And what would I like to accomplish today? As simple as that.
Yeah.
They did many studies on meditation. A quick, short, summarized version is if you watch a documentary called on journaling. It's called Happy. I think it's still on Netflix, or you can Google it. The documentary is called Happy. They studied happiness. They brought in a group of people, and they measured their level of happiness. This is figurative. It was at 30%. They told them every week, simply write down 5 things you're grateful for. A month later, they measured their level of happiness. It increased to around 40%, almost double. So the act of journaling is so powerful. Even if it's just 5 minutes, it's going to remove all of the noise and you put it down on paper, especially the gratitude. You know, we have so many things to be grateful for. Take a couple of minutes and write down what you're grateful for, what you love about yourself, and what would you like to accomplish today, like the main goals. So exercise, meditation, and journaling. Now you do these the morning of the interview. By the way, total, it takes 20 to 30 minutes tops. And while you're exercising, I suggest to feed your mind something positive. You can listen to a podcast or music. Just feed your mind something positive, a positive audio, because it's gonna, come in much faster. So you're done with the morning, right? Now, the interview is at noon. It's at 12 p.m. 30 minutes before the interview, you're gonna do it one more time.
Okay.
Exercise, meditation, and journal. If you don't have time, just do the meditation at least 10 minutes before the interview. If you do have time, the last hour before the interview, go for a walk, 15, 20 minutes. Don't do anything, anything else. You don't have to review, do that earlier. And then sit down, do your meditation and journaling again. Wow, this has been a game changer for hundreds of people that I worked with. It's crazy. So the daily habits, the morning of the interview and right before the interview. Because the meditation is going to relax you, and the more relaxed you are, the better you will perform. Even if you didn't do any of the prep, you know what? Don't prep, but just do these daily habits. the day of the interview, in the morning and right before that call, or let's say you're even going to an in-person interview, sit it and do it in your car. I suggest that to all of my clients. Get there a little bit earlier, sit down, your car is perfect. You put on the headphones and you meditate, right? You can do the breathing, and then you have your notebook with you, you can journal, and you are ready to rock and roll. It's extremely powerful.
I kept journals from 1980.
Wow.
To 2001. I had journals every day. I was writing in them. I have them in a box somewhere. I'm gonna actually do something. And it helped me get through a lot of tough times. And then I started writing again in 2015. So I completely agree with you on that. I think writing down, and see, it also helped me with my business, helped me with my projects. Some of the journals have become things that I'm working on now. They're things I'm actually using in my stories or my shows or things like this. I'm actually using them. So I think people should write stuff down. I completely agree with that. And it's fun to kind of go back and look and see what you wrote 6 months ago, 3 months ago. You're like, oh, okay, I'm different now, or I'm much better now, or I was in that space back then. Okay, and it's very. I believe in journaling very heavily, and I believe in meditation. Obviously, I do it every morning.
Exactly, because as you said, you see your progress over time. You go back, you're like, wow, I'm proud of myself. This is how I'm thinking now. I'm thinking better. And if you go to, like, most therapists, they always recommend journaling. Always. These are certified therapists. They tell their patients, journal, write down. You have negative thoughts, write them down. Did you watch The Joker?
Yes.
Did you watch? What does he do in the movie? He's journaling. And when he goes to the social worker, he takes his journal with him every time. And she asks him, like, tell me about your thoughts. Like, here's my thoughts. And he even says, I'm writing this down. It helps a little bit, but I still have a lot of negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm. He does. See, journaling, folks. Even from The Joker.
Yeah. Exactly. Do we have any questions?
Kirsten Marie says, good advice. Junior's like, thank you. So far, no question. That to me is very self-explanatory. And people can watch this over again, but I also want them, if they want further, to come to you. So tell them, Wasim, where they can actually find you if they want to come to you for some stuff.
Fastest way, guys, if you go on Google and type my name, you can type either Wasim the Dream, it's WASIM the Dream, or my first name, last name, Wasim, and the last name is HAJJIRI. On Google, you're gonna find my website, my LinkedIn. You're gonna find everything. It's all there. So Google search my name, Wasim Hajjiri or Wasim the Dream.
Yes, go there.
That's it.
I'll put it in the description so you guys can follow if you want more in-depth coaching. That's what he's here for. But you gave us some great tips, Wasim. You really did. I mean, there's very easy to follow tips. You're always
absolutely, and you know what?
You always know how to talk. You always know how to talk. So
I love that. And then I have a video on my website which talks about the 3 steps. Okay. It's totally, you can go in there and watch it. It's 5 minutes, goes in depth. My website, the new one is getyourdreamjob.net. It's getyourdreamjob.net. That's it. They can, they can find more on the 3 steps, which is branding, networking, and interview prep. And I go through a lot of details in the video. You can go and keep watching it over and over. You get a lot of ideas from there.
Perfect. We'll have to have you back on later, and maybe in the year, see how people are doing, what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone needs help with any of the job stuff, please reach out to me. Connect with me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is huge, or on the website. You can find a lot of info there. And then talk to James. Like, you have my info. Would love to help out anyone.
Yes, I think I'm following on LinkedIn. I think we are. I'll make sure we are. I think we are.
Yes, we have to.
I know after all this, I think we are. I think I follow you everywhere, but I'm going to double check, make sure I'm following you on.
Perfect.
I've known you for now like 3 or 4 years now, so I'm trying to figure out like well, we'll figure that out. Thank you,
Yes.
my friend. I love you, my friend, and thank you for.
Thank you so much. I love you too. It's such an honor, and thank you so much for having me. This is the 3rd time. I always love talking to you. And again, thank you so much for the message, the optimism you put out there, the people you're bringing in on your shows, all of the advice, and the huge congrats on making history being on the Jimmy Kimmel Live. Hats off to you again. I look forward to seeing you in the studio, hopefully next time. But other than that,
I would love to hear that. So, folks, I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. and also social media platforms. ALottaHelp.com is my website, and that's Lott with 2 T's. I'm not one. That's my last name. And so I want to thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you got some really good tips out of this. Again, any questions, put them in the comments below, or contact me or contact him. We'll get you there. We want everyone. We are of service to our community at large. We want everyone to have jobs, be able to make money, provide for their families, provide for yourselves. It's a big world out there. We're coming back to life, and whatever we can do to help you reach that, we are here. So everybody, thank you very much. Be kind to each other, and